Pokemon Horizons Episode 3, As Long As I'm With Sprigatito, I'm Sure, just aired and it continues to be more than amazing. The episode begins in Liko's dream where her grandmother showed her the magical pendant. It kind of implies that her grandmother passed away with the symbolism of the flowers getting picked up by the wind. Her grandmother had an Arcanine and she looks a lot like Drasna. Am I the only one? Liko soon awakens in the brave Asagi and is still saddened by the loss of Sprigatito, who was kidnapped by the explorers at the end of the last episode. Well, to be fair, Amethio also kind of saves Sprigatito, but that's a story for another time. The Rising Voltaclers greet her a good morning and they start planning on how they can go ahead and retrieve Sprigatito. But first, they gotta get some supplies in the Pokemon Center, so Liko tags along with Mollie. I really love how they're getting a lot of character development for all of the cast, well, except for Ludlow, but I'm pretty sure his day's gonna come soon enough. I also like that the adults in the situation are the ones to go and find Sprigatito, where they tasked Liko to go ahead and just get the supplies. It actually shows that some adults in the Pokemon world actually think about kids for once. Unfortunately for Liko, Nurse Joy isn't able to bring her the supplies right away because she had to treat an injured Vulpix first. This does give us a good developmental point for Liko here, where she realizes that it's not only her struggling with the problems of being a first-time trainer. The Vulpix trainer was telling her how she struggled to get Vulpix to listen to her commands as they just started their journey as well. At the explorer's base, we see Cocnia feeding Sprigatito, and he shows her some affection. We then see Zur, who is there spying on the Rising Voltacler's base, informs Amethio that most likely Liko and Friede are to come nearby. Vulpix is finally healed and the supplies are ready, but as soon as Liko heads out of the Pokemon Center, a woman in a building also goes ahead carrying her supplies. Murdock's Rockruff starts barking at her, which alerts everyone that she's from the explorers. Cocnia escapes, but Liko and Friede manage to follow her to their base. Friede is actually a responsible adult and tells Liko that she should wait outside, but Liko insists on going inside to retrieve her Sprigatito. After some thinking, Friede allows it, but first he comes up with a plan which we don't know right away. They enter inside where Amethio awaits. Friede and Amethio agree to continue their unfinished battle, while Liko and Rockruff head further inside to find Sprigatito. Friede and Amethio's battle, much like the last one we got, was so beautifully animated and choreographed. It's quite funny seeing that they have now battled 3 times in 3 episodes and not once has the battle properly concluded. I wonder if that's going to be a recurring thing in the series. They quickly find him and in Ash fashion, Liko tries her best to tackle the door until it opens. They find their way out, but Cocnia stops him outside. This time though, Sprigatito is no longer affectionate towards her despite the short time that they spent together. Cocnia sends out Skarmory, who counters both Sprigatito and Rockruff. But Liko is smart enough to not engage in a Pokemon battle and instead instructs Sprigatito to use Leafage as a mean of escape. Back to Friede and Amethio, who have suddenly switched their battleground to the roof. It seems that Amethio has Friede cornered, but it's actually all part of Friede's plan. Now that Liko has sent a message that she got Sprigatito, Friede jumps back first and retreats with his Charizard. Back at the ship, the gang gathers together and they welcome Liko as a new member of the Rising Voltaclers. We get to reveal that the aim of the Rising Voltaclers is actually to go around the world and solving all of its mysteries, which is why they have an interest in Liko's pendant in the first place. In the end, we get to see the other protagonist, Roy, being his happy and energetic self, running around the island, signaling that his adventure as a Pokemon trainer is about to begin. Roy looks as cool as I expected, and his Pokemon throwing skills rival that of Go. Throwing the rock at the target in the ocean makes me believe that he has been waiting for this day for a very long time. My overall thoughts on this episode is that I enjoy how they handle the beginning of Pokemon Horizons. My guess is that this episode concludes the mini-arc to start Liko's journey, as the next episode will now feature both protagonists. I'm really enjoying the direction that Pokemon Horizons is starting in, and besides the people who are blindly hating on it because Ash isn't here, it seems that the general consensus is that people are enjoying it as well. I like that we have finally seen all of the partner Pokemon of the Rising Voltaclers, and the big cast of characters are working really well together. All of the Explorers, Rising Voltaclers, and Liko herself are all phenomenal thus far. The biggest star so far, and my personal favorite, has to be Friede. He has this generic cool aura to him, and he's just awesome. I like the little quirk that he has where he always forgets things and says that he's going to tell them later, but he would eventually forget that too. The voice actor has done a really good job of bringing him to life and showcasing how cool of a character he really is. Of course, this also gets further shown with Captain Pikachu. Being both cute and cool just makes me fangirl for Captain Pikachu so much. We get another instance of Nidothing making an appearance, this time to explain to the new trainers out there what a Pokemon Center is and what is the purpose of said building. But what I thought was cool is that they just showed off all of Nurse Joy's old assistants from the old anime. Liko has been doing a great job thus far as our new protagonist, and Sprigatito has been a great partner Pokemon too. The OST was great, and the art and animation were top notch as well, a very big step up from Pokemon Journeys. That being said, this episode was a tad bit worse than the first 2 in my opinion, but hey, it was still good. In fact, it's so good that my rating for this episode is a 7 out of 10. This is comparing it to Pokemon Horizons, as I'll just be using these episodes compared to each other to base my ratings. If this was in Pokemon Journeys, it'd probably be one of the best episodes in Pokemon Journeys. Next episode, we get the proper introduction of Roy. My first impression of him is that I thought his voice was a little bit high-pitched, but I'm sure I'm gonna get used to it. I remember watching Dragon Ball Super when it first aired, and it was my first time watching Dragon Ball in the Japanese dub. Goku's voice is notoriously high-pitched and it was off-putting at first, but eventually I did get used to it and even ended up liking it, so I hope that the same is going to apply for Roy because I do in fact think that I'm going to like him. Off the rip, with not much to back up this info, it looks like Liko has more of a Go personality, with Roy having more of an Ash personality. Perhaps we get these personalities, but their goals are reversed, with Roy catching more Pokemon and Liko going for the gyms or something like that. It would be more interesting if it worked out that way. Look at this screenshot of an upcoming video that I'm currently working on, but you're just gonna have to be left in the dark for what the video is, but I'm kind of sure you can gather a good idea just based on the screenshot alone. Today's hashtag question of the day is, which Rising Voltacular is your favorite thus far? I know it's too early to say something definitive, but aside from Friede, my favorite would have to be Murdock. I love his soft and affectionate demeanor with both Liko and Rockruff, and he just seems like an incredibly kind person. But who's your pick? Let me know with hashtag QOTD in the comments below. If you guys want to see Pokemon Horizons Episode 3, head on over to the Pichu Bros Discord server linked down below, and I'm sure someone there can help you go ahead and find what you're looking for. If you made it this far into the video, make sure to hit it with a like because it truly helps support the video and the algorithm. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I just want to say that I truly appreciate you. But with that being said, it's been your boy Luap, and I'm out. Peace.